All right, traders, welcome to the official launch AMA for the engulfing algo. Brand new, just released. Glad to have you here with us. Momentum system. As you know, of course, before we dive in, we cannot guarantee results. Products and services are for educational purposes. All right, so what are we looking at today? The engulfing algo. We'll look through what the settings do, all that stuff. Get a feel for, some optimizations. We'll spend some time doing an optimization together so that you kind of get a feel for what that process looks like, how you might want to go about it. Um, pull up the charts and look at some of the settings and stuff. Looks like it's been a pretty decent day on some of these. Let's take a look. Yeah, interesting. A lot of trades. Anyway, all right, cool. So what is the engulfing algo? What does it do? How does it work? Let's go through it. I think we'll probably mostly spend our time in here, just kind of going through, what the settings are, what they do, and all that, and then we'll go into the optimization from there. All right, so let's pull up the strategy. I've got this on the MNQ 8000. And we'll just, like we normally do, we'll add another iteration of it here so we can go through the settings and kind of see things side by side. Makes it a lot easier. Okay, so let's dive in. Here we go. Grab a draw tool. So we have two different entry types. We have intra-bar and bar close. Intra-bar means that, actually, let me pull up these same settings. There we go. Intra-bar means it's going to trade the break of the candle that engulfed. So first off, let's look at the signal. We have a down bar and an up bar. It's a two-bar pattern. The up bar body needs to engulf the body of the previous bar, which we can clearly see those conditions are met here. So that is a signal. With bar close, it's going to enter as soon as that bar closes, hence the name. If you trade intra-bar, it's going to look to trade the break of that candle. So there's two different options there. And then you have an entry offset. So, on NQ, you might look for 4 to 10 ticks, depending on, what works. But that's your entry offset, meaning that it's going to have to get above that and trade it as a breakout. Of course, if you trade bar close, it's just going to trade right at the close of the bar. Intra-bar means more confirmation that the market is holding and that it's going in your direction. So it's more confirmation, but probably not the best location wise for entry because you're going to be more extended, but do what works, whatever gets you paid. So bar one body size. So this is similar to those of you that are familiar with like thrust bars and base bars, On a thrust bar, it's, mostly body, and a basing bar is mostly wicks. So you could look at it that way. But what this is doing is it's saying what percent of the bar one, which is this bar that got engulfed, right? There's bar one, there's bar two. So on bar one, what is the minimum size body to wick ratio? So this is saying 15% body to wick. So in other words, it's almost not even a factor, almost. All it's doing is it's really eliminating like the doji candles, right? Because those are like zero body. This one might not have made the mark, but this one would have, right? So you're determining how big is the body that you need to be able to engulf, okay? Bar one minimum size type. Let's go into that. You got ticks or ATR. So this is going to be the total of the bar, not the body. This is the body. And this is also saying that if the total bar, has to be a certain size based on either ATR or ticks. Okay. Because you might want to see a bigger bar. You might not want to see this tiny little bar that gets engulfed. Something like that might be too small. Maybe you don't want to trade that. Notice that you did not get a signal short here, even though technically that was engulfed, right? So there are some filters in play so that you don't take every trade, because that's never a good thing to take every trade, right? All right, so ticks or ATR, whatever you want to do there. ATR size period is going to be, whatever period you set it to. Right now it's set to 5, and the minimum size is set to 0.5 ATR. So it has to be half of the ATR. And then ticks, you just set number of ticks, right? Pretty straightforward. That's it. All right, good class. Have a great day. So that is it for the strategy parameters. Not too much to have to go through on that. So pretty easy going. The other thing that we can set that is specific to this algo, of course, is the stops. So we have algo based stops. Minimum allowable and max allowable. If you're using algo based stops, you have those as kind of guardrails. And then the stop loss type, you have ticks or you have percent of high-low range. So percent of high-low range means what was the range of the high and low, go figure. And that is going to use then as a percent below the low of the candle. In this case, the 2 candles. Now you can correct me if I'm wrong on any of this stuff, Jeff, but I think that's how I understand it is both.
Yeah, it's whichever both. It's whichever is the furthest wick of the 2 bars. And that's the reference point. Then you just put an offset to that. And that offset can be -2, which would mean that it would, on a long, it would be higher than the wick.
Yes, that is a good one too. And that's great for something like if you wanted to trade it intra-bar, and let's say you traded the break up here and you really got in here because that's where the range was, and you needed a little bit of a buffer above. So you could say, rather than being below the low, you might even be 60% or something like that. You can figure that, and you would just use a negative number, which would be the distance above the low. So negative above, positive below. Okay. So you do have that as an option. And then the high-low range, is it the 2 bar range, I assume?
Yes, correct. 2 bars.
Cool. Yeah, that's how I understand it. Okay, cool. So that would mean on this one, that's your range because it's both bars. Okay. So that's how that works. And so that's where the percent is driving from. And I love the fact that there's the ability to use the percent range versus just static ticks, because every bar size is different, and you never know unless you're using range bars, and that's a totally different subject. So that's really about it. Targets, you still got ticks, ATR, risk reward, trade, start, stop times, all the normal stuff. All of this is in the brain training. So of course that's in the members area, and you can go through and check it out. Does anybody have any questions on any of those settings? It's pretty straightforward. There's not a ton of settings, which is great. Anybody have any questions on that? Good going. Everything's good to go. Easy going. Like I say, I can't talk today, so please forgive me. All right. Easy enough. This would have been a nice little run in here. Starting, I don't know about you guys, but I would not have wanted to trade off of CPI anyway. So, but this is a nice little run here this morning. You had the long there, hit target, another long, hit target, another long, hit target. And then you had a short, hit target. I mean, that was a good start to the day. And then you get into the chop, waiting on, after this one, you're kind of going into the lunchtime, and then you've got FOMC stuff. So really, this day was a really great day. Actually, that was yesterday. I'm sorry. But even still, if you had stopped trading, around that 12:30 mark, that was a great day, which I don't really like personally trading much beyond that anyway. But, and then today, obviously, CPI is going to mess things up, right? So with algos, here's my thinking. You could see today on the markets, just not good results, right? Is anyone here surprised? Anyone here surprised that it did not perform well today? Because as for me, I am not. CPI and FOMC just traded in sim, hindsight's 2020, right? I know some of you are like, well, you could have told me yesterday. But yeah, being able to just stay away from it on days like today is probably going to be a good thing no matter what algo you trade. Because markets they're not responding to the ordinary market conditions, right? Yeah. So this is just a demonstration on showing, the trades, obviously. So I'm not worried about profit and loss. That's what optimizations are for. Can we go over the high watermark? Yes, I will. Absolutely. Start times, stop times. This one is kicking in at 8:48. So I suppose it's probably 8:30. Let's go check. This one is so 9 to 10, it's not trading. So really, I think, and then 1:30 to 2:40. And then the open and closing times are 8 to 3:30. Personally, yeah, I mean, if you wouldn't have wanted to trade at pre-market today, but maybe there's some good trades in there from 8:30 to 8 to 9, 8:30 to 9, that kind of thing. But yeah, so good deal. Is there a way to get lines on MNQ? It's also not showing up in P&L. Yes. When you say lines, you mean like the trade lines or these coloring on the back of the chart? So let me know there. Is there a recommendation for best times? Yes, it is really the way that I look at it is sort of breaking the sessions down into different times. So on equities, you've got 8:30 to call it 9:20 is going to be pre-market. You've got 9:30 to 10 is market open. And then you've got 10 to call it 11:30, maybe pushing till noon is going to be the active day session. And then noon to 12:30, 1 o'clock is like good luck. We'll see how it goes. 1 to 2:30. I don't know why I did that. 1 to 2:30 is like the end of the auction session. And then 2:30 and beyond is the black hole. Good luck again, It's like whatever happens after 2:30 stays after 2:30, right? It's like the Bermuda Triangle of trading. So I like to look at it as different sessions, and then you would have like call it 5 o'clock to 8:30 is kind of like the active Euro session. So each of these sessions responds differently. Sometimes the settings will cross over to multiple different times of the day and things like that, and you can get away with having the same template. But if it were me, I would try to choose specific time windows that you're looking to trade. Now, you could find that something works great in pre-market and works really great during the active session, but doesn't work great during market open. So you block that time out. But that's kind of the way I look at sessions and times on programming these. Let's see, is there a way to get open lines? So we'll come back to that one. Is this Eastern? Yes, this is Eastern Standard. Good. Yeah, ES and NQ are both good. Strategy Analyzer has smarts to identify and suppress news days. It does not. You have to enter that in manually. So if you know today is going to be a news day, you just don't run it. You cannot, as far as I know, you cannot block dates in the future, although I'm not 100% on that actually. Jeff, maybe you can chime in on that. On the date blocker, can you block future dates?
Yeah,
Will
you
it
can put any.
take
You can,
dates?
it's just a list of dates, and so if it's a date that hasn't occurred yet, it won't use it because
Sweet.
it's just you can put the whole year's
Great.
worth of dates in there if you want.
Nice. All right. Well, there you go. So yeah, you can block out today and just let it run and just say, oh, today's the CPI. That's why it didn't take any trades today, right? Lines that connect the entry and exit. What you want to do is either just double click on one of the candles and you want to come down here to where it says markers only. So if we turn that off, you won't see the trade. If we turn it back on, there they are. So you go into the data series, which you can get to by just double clicking the bar, or you can click this guy right here, which is data series. So
I think
that'll,
what he's saying is that he can't see them because
yeah,
they're so faint. So you could
oh,
maybe change them to lime color or thicker or something. But
yeah, you can do that too.
he just can't see them. Probably Zoom just doesn't have a good resolution.
Oh yeah, Zoom, you're not going to be able to see them, but you'll see them on your charts. Yeah. Oh, well, London, yeah, 3 a.m. Yeah, it could be good. Data screen, scroll bottom. What are the vertical, thin, green, and red lines? These are start and stop times. So these are, when the system is permitted to trade is green, and when the system is done trading, it's red. And then you can see it blocked from, this 8:48 to 10, which is really because it closed, after 9 o'clock is why that line popped up here because it's set to 9 o'clock. And so this first candle was not permissible to trade, and then the rest of them, and then this candle was because it closed rather after 10 o'clock. So now, as soon as that candle closes, you're good to trade. So that's why that's actually the first trade right out of the gate. So, the two templates. Are there only two? Only two. Yes, there's only two. There's only two. These templates take a very long time to put together. Well, there's a lot of time that goes into building these out. So our job is to give you a couple to start with and then teach you how to optimize it. And then you can trade it however you want to trade it on whatever markets you want to trade it and whatever time you want to trade it. That's totally up to you. The sizing strategy area, please elaborate. I'm not sure I understand that one. Green and red vertical. What am I missing? So green and red verticals, if you go into the strategy, in the settings, there's a setting for that. You see this one that says miscellaneous visuals? It's the first one, show stripes. You just need to check that box. Default, well optimized, that you can just leave it alone. Okay, let me answer your question with a question, and it's a fair question. So the question is the default template well optimized enough that we can just leave it alone? So who here wants to chime in on that? What do you guys think? So my first question back to that is there money on the line? Is there money on the line? Okay. If there's money on the line, why not optimize it? Why would, we wouldn't want to just expect that something is going to continue to work in perpetuity with no change to the settings whatsoever. So we can hope for that, certainly, but we can assume that's maybe not going to be the case, right? So break even stops. Yes, here. So let's make a list because I'm going to forget some of these. So we know we want to go over high water marks. We know we want to go over blue and magenta arrows. Yeah, so blue and magenta. So blue is long entry or exit, and the pink or magenta is short sell. So buy, sell. buy, sell, buy, sell. Do, 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 do. Yes, it's good for sim out of the box. How to adjust minimum allowable stop and max allowable. Cool. Minimum allowable and max allowable. Cool. Sweet. So we've got those, and then I think we've got most of it covered in here. And then the sizing of the position. I assume that has to do with like risk per trade, that kind of thing. Is that kind of what you mean? Try starting the NQ volume from scratch. Yeah, we can get different settings on NQ if you want. We can do like a more frequent, setting. I don't know what the result's going to be because I haven't done that, but we can certainly try it. Yeah, absolutely. The win rate on this one, yeah, I mean it's in here. So it's 61% at 1-to-1 on that one. This setting is 50% at 1.23. So there you go. All right, so let's do an optimization together, shall we? And I'll show you some of these things that you've requested as well. Do you guys want to stay in NQ, MNQ, or do you want to, go to a different instrument that you think that this would do well on? CL. Stay with NQ. Stay. It's designed for everything. It works on any instrument. Yeah. You can use it on anything. Yeah, let's go look at some charts. Let's do it. In the Discord forums, I don't know. I mean, we've got them working on templates and settings for us and stuff. So, and helping test the algos and that kind of thing. Cool. Good deal, Paul. The volume bars need to be different for NQ. Yes. Very great question. Peter's asking, do the volume bars need to be different from NQ to MNQ? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. CL was decent. GC was not. Okay, cool. Yeah, Robert's one of our ambassadors, and he's in here with us. So thanks for hanging out, Robert. Cool. So let's do 1000 volume, and let's just check out the chart. Before I even start looking at what do I want to trade this on, I'm just going to look at the chart. What is the chart telling me? Is this a decent setting? Is it fluid? Is it too choppy? To me, I look at this and I see a lot of candles that are whipping back and forth. So I'm going to get a lot of signals, and that may not necessarily be a good thing. But then again, it might be. I don't know. That looks pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. I'm going to leave it here. Let's do this. Let's do MNQ 1000. All right, so I'm going to bring up a new strategy analyzer. And let's do this. Let's go in and pull up engulfing. And I'm going to start with a template just so I have something to start with. In fact, here, let's use this one. This is what I kind of started messing around with. Wouldn't you know it? It's on MNQ. So today, whoops, I don't want that. Today's June 12th. Let's go through the 7th. And let's do 4 weeks and just see what we can get. June 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right, so we're going to use, let's try bar close entry first. Then we can go on and check out different things. Require outside bar 2. We actually didn't cover this. Did this stay? Did we update anything? Because I noticed I didn't see that on the other settings, Jeff. Was there an update? Or is that still a thing?
That's still one of the options. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I didn't see it before. Okay. So require outside bar 2, meaning does it have to get above and below the previous bar. That's what that one does. Sorry, I didn't cover that one. Minimum bar one body, I have it at 55. Bar size, ATR, because it's easy to fluctuate with the flow of the market. Bar one size, minimum 80% of ATR. Let's expand it out a little bit and go to 0.5, and then we can always bring it back in if we need to. Quantity, we'll just keep it at 500 to keep round numbers. Minimum allowable, let's do 30. And then stop loss offset, we'll keep it at 10. And let's see what we find. Let's go to 1150 just to be safe. And not too worried about that. But I'm going to show the EMAs and I'm going to show the structure, but I'm not going to require it. And then I'm going to show the VM panel for momentum.
I think you're requiring VM.
Is it?
I think I went by really fast.
Yep, there it is. Let's turn it off and then I may turn it back on. Let's see what it looks like. Cool. So got 161 trades. Obviously, this is just a starting point. I'm not looking for any results here necessarily just yet. I just need to see what the trades look like, go in and check them out. So let's go to the chart. This is my first step. I don't care what profit is just yet. We're going to go to the chart and go look at some trades. So let's go back and see what we got. Pretty active, right? So this is really noisy. I can't even hardly see it. Let's do that. Just a lot of noise. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to not even show the market structure because I feel like that's just noisier than it needs to be. And I am going to require the VM histo. And let's rerun that way. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, yeah, I mean, geez, that made a difference. So 1.2, still got 91 trades to work off of, so that's great. So let's go in and check it out. Okay, so there's the open for the session anyway. That is a beautiful trade right there. That is about as good as you can ask for with this template or with this algo. That is a beautiful setting, beautiful trade, good stop placement. What I'm looking for as I'm looking at the chart is entry, stop, target. Am I too early or too late? Is my stop and target too big or too small? So that's what I'm looking at. And then I'm also looking at location. Do I want to trade long here? To me, not really, you know? Yeah, that one looks good. Cool. No, that's beautiful. These two are not my favorite, honestly. That one is pretty choppy, but I don't know that I could necessarily avoid that. I'm looking too to see if there's other patterns that could have been trades that did not fire because of limitations on bar size, that kind of thing, right? Um, okay, let's go back another day. Nice little news push there that got a win out of it. This one is a really decent location, actually, a decent trade. It just didn't go. That's a nice trade. That one actually is pretty decent. Would have preferred to have gotten it earlier on in the pullback, but I actually don't mind this one. The target's a little bit far, but the stop was in a decent location. So, and then this one, I'm actually not too crazy about this one because of the fact that it's kind of toward the highs here, but otherwise stops and targets are good. Could have got a little bit more out of the target. Let's try something different here. Let's try doing intrabar with an entry offset of 4, but then doing a limit order and getting in. Let me see. Intrabar. Let's go offset 4. Yeah. Let's try that. Let's do limit and entry offset 8. Go to 12 on that. Just trying different things, right? Percent of high low. Let's go negative 30.
We may want to point out that when you do the limit orders, you also can pick how many bars to keep that entry order open before it closes if it's not filled.
Yeah, right now
I think you have it to 1, but
I might have to
yeah.
bump that up. Let's go to 3. Actually, let's go 2. Yeah, so I'm just not getting any trades now. That one didn't come far back enough, and there was really no advantage to that. Let me go back further. Pick a different day. Interesting. Yeah, not getting anywhere with this way of doing it. So cool. We tried it and it didn't work. There you go. At least we tried. Let's go back to market orders. Good deal. Stop loss offset. I am going to go actually negative 50 on this. And you might think I'm crazy, and that's okay. I might be. But why not start with a smaller stop and then go bigger if you have to? Smaller stop, more profit opportunity, quicker profits. Let's see what it looks like. Got like no trades. Market, bar close, 55, 5.5, market. Oh, minimum stops kicking in. Let's go -30 and see what that looks like. I haven't gone into the optimization yet because I'm just trying to figure out what chart I want to be on and what I looked at. And yeah, let's go back to 0. 8 and 21. Yeah, cool. We can check out 2000. Yeah. 2000 tick. Interesting. So looking at this, so far, I don't really mind the stop being tight like that because a lot of these that are getting stopped out would have been stopped out anyway. So yeah, like all of these. But that one could have really run, you know? Yeah. This one would have been, it kind of came back in and then went. But really, like to me, I'm looking at this like it should just go. Like if it's sweeping this low and then going, is it really a valid signal? You know what I mean? Like to me, it's kind of not. You can, yeah, you can definitely set up multiple targets, trail stops, all that stuff, which we'll look at. Yep, it definitely works on volume charts. Probably the best, probably. Maybe volume and tick, but I don't know for sure, I mean, I could tell you, these look great, all of these. Even that one looks fine. It just didn't go. What we could look at too is higher time frame moving averages versus these two. Right now, I'm not using them, but for the most part, because the fact that we're using momentum, we're getting we're getting trades that are on the right side of the EMAs anyway. Yeah, looks pretty good. Cool. So I think, the ones that are going are probably going to really go. So what I want to do is let's save this. And then we're going to go to the optimizer. Now, one quirk with Ninja is you do have to reload the template and then go to optimization. It is what it is. That's just what it does. All right, so let's start here. And we're going to go bar close, require outside. No. Let's adjust for the range. Let's go 30 to 70 by fives. Bar size, we could probably optimize for that. I got to be kind of mindful of how many iterations we're doing here. 40th, 8, 9. 9 times 5 wouldn't be too bad. 0.1. Every setting is different. This is on a faster chart. So the idea of this would be for traders who want to be more active with it. Think of it this way, like the strategy is programmed into an algo. Every trader is going to trade it differently, and they have the flexibility to do that. It's not a black box. It's not designed to be. So these are just good starting points that kind of give you an idea of what you might want to look at. But doing something like this is going to give you an added setting that will also be profitable, because if it's not, then obviously we're not going to, we wouldn't run it. So, stop will definitely mess with minimum. I probably want to just stick with 30, just knowing how NQ is. Okay. And then I'm going to solve for max net profit. Good. And then definitely we're going to look to optimize the target for sure. But for now, let's run it this way and then we'll adjust from there. So just a little bit left on this one, and then we'll have our results back. All right, so we got it back. So 55 was still the number, which is what I already had, because I had kind of started optimizing this when I first got hold of the Algo. Bar size still staying at 0.8. Again, something that I had already kind of optimized on this one. Not 0.08, 0.8. So we'll leave these alone, which is great. At least we've got that legwork done. And then let's go in and let's look at like 20 to 30. I just want to see what the if it makes a big difference on minimum allowable. Great. This looks good. Excuse me. 27 was the minimum that came in. Let's see what these other ones look like. 25. 21, 22, 26. So all of these are less than 27, which tells me that really 27 is the number. Um, yeah, 30 was 62 trades versus 77. So we're starting to cut out some decent trades by doing that. So let's keep it to 27. It's a good number. All right, now let's look at percent high-low range. This one is probably one of the more important things to optimize, really. Let's go extreme. We're going to go negative 50 to positive 50. And I'm just going to go by fives. There's not a there's going to be a decent number, but I'm not testing anything else against it, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, there's 21. So one thing I want to touch on here is that we're not re-optimizing anything right now. What we're doing is we're creating a brand new setting from scratch. Okay, so this is not necessarily optimizing. This is the first optimization of a completely different chart. So think of it that way. And this is the process if you want to create settings for crude or for gold or for nat gas or for lean hogs and corn. I don't care. It's whatever. This is the same process for each. Okay, no change on profitability there. So the zero actually was the best number. So right at the edge. And that's kind of what I was seeing on the chart too. You know, it kind of looked the best that way. So profit target, let's go crazy. I'm going to go by 0.1 so we can see what the differences are between each one. So we're going to go 0.5 to 2 by 0.1. And let's run it. So actually not a huge difference from one to the next. There really wasn't a massive change in here in terms of profitability from where we had it. We gained about 10%, but our drawdown also went up. So to me, this is actually the better of the settings to just leave it like it is at 1-to-1. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's see if there's anything else that we absolutely need to optimize in here. Okay, cool. Let's go into the analysis and check time of day as well. So 11 had 19 trades, weren't profitable, but 11:30 had 15. That was a little bit profitable. Really, the sweet spot is that 10 to 11, you know, in there. And so we could just even, you know, shave off the end of that. You know, another thing you can do too, if you really want to get like, what's maybe you don't want to shave all of it away. You could go like, you know, 11 to noon and then just go by increments of, you know, well, this one actually, I don't think you'd want to do it that way, actually. Never mind. Don't do it like that. It's that's too complicated. So we'll just end it at 11. Let's go back up. Good. Let's optimize for this one because I haven't optimized for that. So require outside body. Let's see. Oh, I've got this by exit time too. That's pretty important. I need to have it say entry. There we go. So we got a little bit more out of it. Reduce the number of trades. Good winning rate. Good risk reward. Good profit. Solid results. Let's go to the chart and check it out. See what it looks like. No trades. Okay. Huh. So require outside body false was the best. I want to check one thing on the VM lean here. Let's go require true and false. I want to see what it looks like with the BBs required as well. Okay, so just cut the number of trades down. Didn't really help us any, so clearly we'll leave that as false. The other thing we could do is add EMAs on the VM lean, but I'm not going to get into all that because I think, why would I use VM lean? First off, let's look at that. Well, it's a momentum-based system. So, definitely good thing to have momentum on your side. So that's why I've got the VM lean required and getting some good results with it. Some of the higher time frames, that sort of thing, it might not be entirely needed, but with this one, it's good to have some filters because there's a lot of trades and that kind of thing. So let's go 1000. We'll optimize the data series. We'll start at 1000. I don't want to go any smaller than that. Let's go to 5,000 and we'll go by 500s. Is there anything else still set to optimize here? Yeah, I think we're good. We'll let this run. Usually, once you start getting into optimizations, if you do it at this stage in the game, um, you're really probably not going to see much of a difference. What you could do, there's an alternate approach, which would be, to kind of set it up the way that you would like to trade it, and then see which chart is going to do the best for you. So that's another thought there. Let's look at the minute charts and see what that looks like. We'll go 1 to 5. So let's go by 2. So we'll do 1, 3, and 5. And let's just see what it looks like on minute charts. I suspect on these the trade size is too restrictive. Something's getting filtered out. Weird. Interesting. I don't know what the story was there, but I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time trying to figure it out. We'll just stick with the 1000 volume.
When I was optimizing, I tried minutes, minute bars, and got results with a huge number of trades. It might be your stop sizes, like you said, minimum stop size or something like that.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Not getting anywhere with it though. Let's try higher time frame moving average. Let's see if that does any good for us as well. Let me save this before I do anything though. Let's update that one. And then 9 and 20, and then the basis will go, well, let's try it by primary bars. And then we could try it on higher time frame as well. Okay, so same result as far as that goes. Let's try though. Turn off false because I'm just gonna optimize the minute bars if I can. Nope, I cannot. Let's go with a 1 minute and then we'll try maybe a 5 minute. Oh yeah, just something to optimize. All right, fine. Let's do that. Hey Nestor, on the brain training, it's actually the brains of the algo, not the brains of the trader. I know when we hear brain training, that's usually what we think of, but it would be on the brains of the algo. So you would hope to at least see a higher profit factor and higher win rate if you're filtering. If you're not getting that, then there's absolutely no point to running a filter, right? Should be in the members area. if you go into where into your dashboard on ARC, there should be some trainings in there. If you can't find it though, just reach out to support. They'll let you know. Yeah, they'll hook you up. So profit factor did go up a little bit. Drawdown did not, and we lost 20 trades and some profit. So wasn't wasn't anything spectacular. We can go nuts and go with a 30-minute just to see what that looks like, but almost the same as the 5-minute at this point. So yeah, so we'll just keep it as not on. So we'll go false. Primary bars, we'll just go back to primary. Even though we're not using it. All right.
You mean to disable the moving average filter?
Yeah, I think.
You check the other thing.
Whoopsies. Thanks, Jeff. That's why we keep them around, just to clean up after my mess. No.
I got to do something every once in a while. Can't let you do all the work.
Yeah, right. Clearly, we know who does all the work around here. All right. I just talk all day. Does that really work? I don't know. 10 to 11. Yeah, so that works. So let's go ahead and save it again. And what we'll do now, I'm going to go back to the back test, and I'm just gonna run it that way. And we're going to start messing with some money management stuff here. So let's run it like this, though, so I don't have all the extra stuff all over the place. Daily max goal and loss, I think it has to do somewhat with, how many trades you're getting is going to be part of it, right? Like if you're getting, this one is doing 2.5 trades per day. So let's actually break this down. This is kind of an important factor to go over on money management is if you are averaging 2.5 trades per day, you probably want to have at least, 2 max losers as your max loss for the day, right? Like 2.5 average, I would probably go 3 max losers in a day. Because you don't want in real life, when you're trading real money, you don't want the algo just going rogue and, bleeding out your entire account because some news event or something came up and, anyway. That's kind of worst case scenario, but still important to know. So I would do 3 max losers in this case, which would put us at, if our risk per trade is 500, it's going to put us right at about 1,500. And we can set it around that, which I'll show you in a second here. And then, max winners, my thinking on this is I don't want to limit my wins. I would want to limit how much I give back if I'm in winning territory. So for that, we can use high watermark, right? And so we can look to do that. I would say if I'm up 3 trades, then I don't want to give it all back. You know what I mean? So let's look at it that way. So we'll go in here. And the purpose of money management is to take something that is good and make it applicable to your risk tolerance. It's not necessarily to optimize based on money management. You want to find the best settings that are going to give you the most winning trades and the most profitability. And then you can go in and add the money management. All right, so here we go. Always reset P&L on time slot because we're day traders, so it does need to reset every day. Daily max goal, we're not going to use, but we are going to use daily max loss. We'll go 1,400. That way, if it goes above that, it'll stop trading. So you would be down 3 trades and it would stop. High watermark, we're going to do, let's just do realized. We'll just keep it simple. If I'm above 1,400 in realized profit, I want, oops, this one, I always do these backwards. 1,400 in realized profit, then I'm going to set high watermark to, let's do I definitely don't want to give back more than 2 trades, so I'm just trying to think of it that way. So let's put, what would the percent be on that? Let's do 65%. Let's try that. I'm not going to enable money management exits because this assumes that you're sitting in front of the algo and turning it off if it goes beyond what you're looking for. So I'm just going to leave that unchecked and let's run it. Let's see what that does. What we want to see is that it's not changing the numbers too much, right? That's the whole goal of this. So yeah, didn't change them at all, which is actually great. I'm perfectly okay with that. So we had this one was going pretty strong that day. And apparently it didn't really give any money back. So hang on 1 second here. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. So this day had a max loss of 800, which is great. It's like 1.5 trades. Really great day. Let's go in and look at this though, because I don't know, maybe it's a little bit suspect. Let's go check it out on May 24th. Let's go to the chart. Pull up my data window so I can see where I'm at. There we go, 524. So winner really didn't take on any heat. And this is realized plus unrealized. So maybe I shouldn't be too surprised, but winner, 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 winner. Oh, there you go. When all you do is win, then I guess you don't have to worry about it. So there was a question. So meaning you keep 35%, Kenneth. So if it gets down to more than I've, given back more than 2/3 of the gains, then I don't want it to keep going. So yeah. 7,000 volume or 700, Ronald? 7,000 seems very, very large for micro gold on the volume. This looks good. I don't really have any major issues with this. I think it's probably pretty good. Let's go to the equity curve. Yeah, there you go. Looks good. Let's go ahead and save it again. And yeah, there you go. I mean, that's the process. What else do we want to cover? Minimum allowable, max allowable. So minimum allowable, let's go into that. Minimum maximum stop. Why would you want to use a minimum stop would be like margin requirements or max contracts per the prop firm. So if you're at risk of going over your max contracts, then you want to increase your minimum stop, because by doing that, you're going to, if your stop increases, the number of contracts you trade goes down, right? Because you're setting your risk according to dollar size. So at $500, if your minimum size is 40, then you can do the math on that and figure out the number of contracts and all that based on the distance of the trade. So That's a way to get around that. Max allowable is really just going to be, really more just along the lines of like, how long do you want to sit in the trade, you know? And I guess, you could base it on the max distance that you would want to be in based on one contract. You could base it that way. It's actually probably a good way to do it. So like, if your max risk is 500 and we know that MNQ is 50 cents, 0.5, then that means you would need to have a trade that was 1,000 ticks. So, if you're less than 1,000 ticks, you're good because you won't go over your max risk in that case. Yeah. Yeah, that is exactly what it stands for, John. Velocity momentum. Yeah. Cool. What else? We said sizing the position. Again, we kind of looked at that. Let's say you want to run 2 targets or a trail stop. Let's look at that. So what we're going to do is we'll go to, bear with me a second. There we go. So let's say you want to run a second, you want to leave a runner on or a break even. Yeah, perfect. We'll do both. So what you would do then, the first thing, if you want to do a break even, you would need to go, which would be your stop adjustment. So we'd go here. You have to uncheck this and then, whoops. And then we'll just put that as 40. Let's say you want to trigger the trail at 40 ticks and trail it by 40 ticks. And your break even trigger, let's say, is 20. So if you get 20 ticks in the positive, it's going to bring it to net zero. And then you can trail by 40 ticks the whole way. Let's see if that works, actually. Let's try it. Yeah, okay, that worked. Cool. So it increased the drawdown. It did increase the profit, though, too. And it also improved the profit factor just by adding those few things. So right now they're kind of hidden. So you have to uncheck that and then recheck it when you're ready. But that's a way that you can do all of them. So let's go in and actually, now remember this though, too. It's double the risk because I had it at 500. So, if you're comparing apples to apples, we really got to do 250 and 250. Or you can break it down and do, 300, which would be 60% of the position, and 200. Let's do it that way. So we can kind of compare, what's the profit, the final number. Is it better than that 7,900 or is it, more or less? Can you combine the algo stop with the break even? Yes. Yeah, according to this, yeah. Okay, so this to me is an improvement. Even though there's less profit, technically, the profit factor is better. The drawdowns are better. So in a sense, if your drawdowns are better and your profit factor is better, you can leverage the positions differently. So if you wanted to use, say, maybe you want to do 300 and 300, right? You could do something like that and see what that does. So here's my suggestion on trailing your stop, though. Test it separately and see, is there an advantage profit-wise, risk-wise to even do that? And then combine them together, right? That's my thought. So even, this is a perfect example, even risking a little bit more, still the drawdown is less than, what we had in here. And the profit's right about in line and profit factor is good. And I don't know. This looks pretty good. Yeah. So now we've got money management built in, and we've got the trails built in. So if you wanted to test a trail stop, separately, let's say, let's look at that. So what you do is you go to just one position, and then when we go to target, I'm going to leave this at 0, meaning there is no target. Okay, I'm going to disable this. I know this is kind of quirky. It's, it is what it is right now. But let's say all I want to do is trail the stop by 60 ticks. But I'm going to trail once I get to 40. And I'm just going to turn off the break even because that'll kind of accommodate what I'm looking for. And so this means there's no target. All it's going to do is trail the stop in this case. And so because I don't have a target, I just leave it at 0. And then I can still do, the stop based on the algo if I want. Now you can't trail it by R multiples. It doesn't do all that, but you can trail it by ticks or bars. Yeah, I will show it on the chart as soon as this is done running. Yeah, so there you go. So if risking 500 to make, what was it, 79.10 was our original, original setting, right? Yeah, no worries. We got 7,700 just by trailing the stop. What's our drawdown? It's about the same. Let's go look at it on the chart. All right. So I'm going to zoom in here because I know some of you are having trouble seeing these trades, right? So let me map them out. So let me make this easy on you. This equals a buy signal. So just figure there's an entry right at the bar close. These red dots are the stops. And normally you'd see green dots as a target, which would probably look more like a straight line, actually. Green dots are target. In this case, we don't have a target, so it's exiting at the stop. So if you're having trouble seeing, that'll give you more clarity on being able to see the trades. Yeah, I know it's hard, guys. I know that the bars are small and the zoom is not always the greatest resolution. So yeah, that'll help though. I like the trailing stop on this actually a lot, especially on MNQ, because when it's going to move, it's going to move. And this is a momentum based trade. So I think there's some merit there. Yeah, like this one wasn't going to move, right? It wasn't going to move anywhere. Yeah, for sure. This one, again, just fake out, right? It needed a deeper pullback. And really, this was the better trade right here. But this one was pretty far extended too. It just happened to follow through better. I'm always of preference to take it sooner than later, though. Yeah, there you go. Oh, this looks great. Look at that. What a trip. I mean, there's still losses in there, obviously, but they weren't really going to work anyway. Okay. I'm going to try one last thing here, and then we're going to wrap up. I'm going to use a smaller stop, and I'm curious to see if that gives us more to work with on this type of a setting. Nope. Interesting. I'm actually kind of surprised by that. All right, well, now we have our answer. Yeah, larger stop, bigger win rate. Just it needs room to breathe. NQ is it'll whip around a little bit on you. We could try negative 0.5 or negative 5. See what that is. Yep. No. What a trip. Huge difference. Just given that little bit of extra room. We're partially running into the minimum stop sizing there too, because some of those trades are getting filtered out. So that's a factor there as well. But here, let's do this. So I'm going to save this as the runner. Just save that for now. And then let's go back to this, and we'll add 300 and 300. And I realize not everybody's trading these sizes, so just resize it for what your risk tolerance is. But let's do that and stop. Doesn't really matter. Trail 40, offset 40, break even. Doesn't really matter because we're trailing by 40. So that's fine. So that works. And then it will trail on the first position too, even if the, if the stop is above 40, it's obviously going to trail on the first position too. So just so you're aware. So we'll go 1 to 1. The second one, we're going to do 0 because we don't have a target. We're just going to trail. And then we'll look at it on the chart too. I'm going to save this one as kind of an official. Let's save it as something official. Engulf, MNQ, 1K volume. Through 6, 7, I think. I think that's right. And then we'll just put Eastern time. We'll put, this is going to be, 2 positions, trail stop. Now we'll just call it that. Now, here's the thing. So with these, money management, you can keep these numbers if you want them. You can do a different high water mark, whatever you want to do there. Let's say you're not trading $600 risk per trade. Maybe you're trading 100. Divide all the numbers by 6, so just do 50 and 50, and then you would have, yeah, it'd be 50 and 50, and then these would just divide it by 6. So you'd be like 200, So you get the idea. Let's run it this way. So stop offset is telling the system where to put the stop based on the location of the signal. So let me show you here. Let's go into it and just check out some of these trades anyway. Okay, so I know you can't really see it too good, so let me highlight these out. So here's the entry, right? We can see the green bars along. And then we've got the green dots as our target. Stop started here, and then it trailed up like this. So that's where we exited the position on the full size. So first took out the first position, got out here, and then the second got out here. So that's what we can see. So hopefully that makes it a little bit easier. If you're having trouble loading templates or anything like that, yeah, support's your go-to. Stopped out. This one hit target and then hit trail stop a little bit better than break even, it looks like. This one was a stop. I realize you probably can't see that for anything, but this was a stop out. It just got in here short and then went up and got out. This one, same thing, got long here, got stopped out there. Yeah, I'll share the template for sure. Yep. Yeah, let's look at this one as another good one. So entry, based on the green. So right at the open of this bar, and then stop trailed up to here, got out of the second position right there, hit target on the first. So really it was about the same either way on that one. This one did not hit target only hit stop on the full thing. So this is one where it trailed both positions, the first part of it and the second part of it. Stop was originally here, and then it trailed down and got out the full position. Almost hit target. So that would have been one where the initial target was bigger than 40 ticks, and that's why it got stopped out, all of it. This one hit target, trailed here. Cool. Now this looks good. I mean, obviously, you still get stop outs like anything, but by bumping we bumped the trade size a little bit, which I suppose we don't have to. We can bump this back down to 500. You can't do structure on the, yeah, this is actually about the same, but a little bit better on the drawdown. Let's save it this way. All I did on this one is just change the trade size down to 500 like normal. So you can trail by the number of bars as well. Yeah, can trail by bars. Yep, when trailing the stop, it's trailing by ticks right now. Alternatively, you can set it to trail by the number of bars back. So let's say if you had to trail 3 bars back, what it's going to do in that case is, let's go to a position. So the stop for this bar is going to look at 3 bars back. 1, 2, 3. Stop goes at the low. This bar is going to go 1, 2, 3, and the low is here. This bar is 1, 2, 3, and it moves up. So, yeah, no worries. So that is built into where you can do it that way too, if you prefer. Cool. I think we got what we need. I think we're good to go. Anybody else have any questions before we wrap up? You guys all set? We will send out the recording for sure, so you have time to go through it again and get more familiar with some of the different options available to you.
And you'll share this in Discord, the template in Discord. Is that where you're sharing it?
Yep, I will share in Discord thread. Yep.
Okay.
I'll get that over to you. So somebody had asked, can we do a comparison of the NQ? So here we go. Let me move this to be smaller like that. Okay, so this one had 6,000. This can't be right though. I think I may not have downloaded enough data. Was that the profit factor on MQ? Let me see. I have all the data. No, something's not right there. Let me go ahead and download the data just to make sure I've got everything. I'm wondering if there's something missing. Hang on a second here, guys. And then we can do a comparison. Historical. Let's download MNQ. Tick data. And we'll go back to, we'll just go back to May 1st through today. Then we'll rerun these. Yep. You can optimize data series in the sense of the bar size. You can. There's a little checkbox all the way down in here. When you're in the optimizer, it'll be there. Yeah, I will definitely get this one sent out to Discord. Let me just double check it once the data finishes downloading. I might have been missing some. I don't know. All right, looks like it's done. run both of these again. Yep, still came in good. So that one's fine. Yeah.
I don't know why your MNQ is so different. We got to look at that.
What? Maybe I've got the wrong. Is it 8 to 3:30? And is it MNQ?
What is your times? Yeah, it's MNQ.
I have it from 8 to 3:30 Eastern.
Yeah, I have 5 to 12:30 on Pacific. And then what are your halt times?
9 to 10, 1:30 to 2:40. Why don't you guys go ahead and run this setting on this one? I'm going to post it in Discord and let me know if you get the same results.
I mean, my NQ for that time period had a 1.97 profit factor.
Yeah, that's not
and 125 trades with a 61.6 win rate. So I don't know.
Interesting, huh?
You got to look at something's different.
I might have messed up one of the settings or something. I don't know. Maybe I accidentally changed something. I don't know. But yeah, take a look at this one, guys, and see if you get the same results and stuff. We are actually looking at that, Shy. Yeah, we are definitely looking at it. It's something that Jeff and I were talking about earlier in the week, actually. So yeah. Yeah, so that was the one from yesterday, but my results, James, are not coming in the way that they came through for some of the other users or from our dev team for whatever reason. I don't know. But this one had a little bit better profit factor, less trades, but I'm only doing from 513 forward. So yeah, so good stuff. All right, well, let us know if you guys see anything drastically different. Make sure you do go in and download your data and all that stuff too, obviously. But if you need anything, support is always your best, quickest, and most efficient way to get help if you need it. We've got you covered. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the week. I'll see some of you back in the trade room tomorrow, and the rest of you, we'll see you on the next one. So take care, everybody. Have a great rest of the day, great weekend. Catch you next time. Cheers, everybody. Take care.